What's up, warrior? Welcome back. We are in the middle of a series of how pros look at their MLM or multi-level marketing businesses. And this is part 3. We're going to specifically talk about finding your leaders. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, like this, share this, subscribe, because this is part 3 of 5. So be sure to watch the other ones as well too. But if you're in a multi-level marketing business, then you've probably had this feeling before, which is, how do I find more people like me? Have you ever felt like, am I the only crazy one? Is there anyone else like me out there? If so, comment me below, because I totally know how that feels. You're the one grinding. You're the one going through the training. You're the one serious. And perhaps you've been prospecting and, people tell you they're serious and then things never happen. And you're like, when is this ever going to click? Well, I'm going to talk to you about exactly how to find your leaders today. And it's important because whether it's a multi-level marketing business or any business, any organization, John Maxwell says this, that every organization rises and falls based off of leadership. So the only way that you're going to expand your capacity is you got to increase in your leadership, and specifically your leadership team. Now, we want leaders, especially in a multi-level marketing business, because that's how you scale. That's probably the biggest benefit of MLM over any other business, right? If you start up a traditional small business, you got to hire people, you got to delegate. And if you've ever tried hiring someone, that's a whole situation in itself. But the beauty in a network marketing business is that you can find other leaders. We do want leaders, right? You can find others that have mutual incentive as you, because in network marketing, we're all independents, right? You own your own business, I own my own business, but we can collaborate, we can work together. How do you find them? And I remember I went up to one of my mentors. His name's Tim Sales. If you know Tim, he's a legend in this profession. This guy was able to build his business to $150,000 a month, even while he was part-time. And he's influenced the world of network marketing. And I asked him one day, how do you find a leader? And the first question is this: who is a leader? Now, I think we have to define who is a leader in your organization. What would you answer? I wonder. Is it a personality trait? Is it a characteristic? Is it someone that is really serious? Is it someone that has a strong social media following? We have to define a leader first before we can find them. So I asked him that, who's a leader? You know what his answer was? Made it super simple. He said, James, a leader is somebody that does what's called the pipeline. The pipeline is they're prospecting, they're inviting, they're qualifying, they're presenting, they're following up. A leader is simply somebody that actually consistently in high quantity does the pipeline. Now, a leader also is somebody that is able to make a 6-figure plus income. That's how he defined a leader. I'm like, oh, okay. Now that's important because you attract who you are. It takes one to know one. So if we want leaders, question to each and every single one of us: are we consistently in high quantity doing the pipeline? Straight up, most of us, we might think and we say that we're a leader, but if we actually look at our daily actions, we're not being leaders in our business, because we're not doing the pipeline consistently. We do them in spurts, don't we? We prospect when we feel like we want to. Showing up to a training is not leadership necessarily. Doing personal development is not leadership necessarily. Using the product or service is not leadership necessarily. Doing the pipeline, prospecting, promoting, expanding, presenting, that's leadership. So the first thing is it takes one to know one. I had to check myself on that. I'm like, all right, I got it. I got my job. I'm doing the pipeline consistently. Now, how do you find them? Do you just pray and expect that they come? Do you just like, put out an application, leaders wanted? Like, do you make someone a leader? That's one of the biggest issues in our business that I faced. That we try to make someone a leader that's not ready to be a leader. That's probably the worst thing that can happen, because then it feels like you're trying to force someone to be something that they don't want to be. But understand there's some numbers here. And Tim, he pulled the stats. And out of an organization of lots and lots of people, and this holds true for pretty much every single multi-level marketing business, numbers don't lie. I spoke with Eric Worre, the GOAT of network marketing training, and very similar as well too. Here's a couple of numbers you want to know. Why is leadership important? Well, there's an average. If you would like to be able to make $1 million a year through your business eventually, put a 7 in the comments if that sounds cool. If you'd like to be able to make $1 million a year. Did you know that there's a stat that if you find around 20 leaders, that's 7 figures a year, no matter what the compensation plan is? Interesting. Okay. So now I have a goal. Now, all right, I need to find 20 leaders. How do I find those? Well, here's another stat. Tim Sales said, out of every 40 partners in your organization, 1 will be a leader. Did you get that? Out of every 40 partners in your organization, 1 will be a leader. Leader meaning a 6-figure earner and somebody that consistently does the pipeline. Interesting. This is so important, because the real reason why most of us struggle to find leaders is, first of all, we don't know how to define a leader. Number 2, we don't have enough quantity to even find a leader. Most of us, myself included, this is how we think. I'm going to find a couple people. We might not say this consciously, like we might not say this out loud, but the mind wants to take the easiest way out, doesn't it? I am naturally lazy. So you know how my mind likes to work? I'm going to work hard. I'm going to find a couple people I think are superstars. I'm going to find the connected ones, the influential ones, and all that. And I'm just going to hope and pray that they're the leader. I'm going to find a couple and I'm retired, right? No. The numbers tell the whole story. If it takes 40 partners to find 1 leader, warrior, are you willing to sort through the many to find the 1? Now, some of us, we might look at someone else and we hear those stories of the one that got lucky. They found 1 person, they became a superstar. And is that possible? It is. But is that something you can depend your life upon? You can't. So if you understand that the stat is 40 partners, not a customer elevated to be a partner, not a customer that just wants to get discounts so they have a membership in the company. That's not a partner. Someone that partners with you in your business with a straight business intention. They're seeking to actually do something. They're shown a business presentation. 40 partners equals 1 leader. If that number clicks, put the number 4D in the comments below. It's so crucial to get this. It's so crucial to get this. Because now you know the stat. You know the game. It's just playing the game. Okay? Now I'll tell you this. I'm a little unruly. I'm a little bit of a rebel. When I first heard this, I didn't want to believe it. Part of me, because I don't want to, it feels kind of weird to look at people like numbers. Now, this is not to look at people like numbers, but it's to know the stats. It's important that as business owners, we know the stats, right? Numbers tell the whole story. But also, I didn't want to think that it was that simple, because to be honest, I wanted to justify the difficulty I was facing in my business. I didn't want a stat to be true, because then I could not hold on to my excuses of why I was not doing as well as I wanted to. Ooh. So you know what I did? And I challenge you to do this, prove it wrong. Prove the number wrong. So I rolled up my sleeves. So I did the pipeline. So I enrolled 80 people in a year personally. Now, the 40 can also include your team enrollments, but Tim Sales said do it as if it's just yourself. So, hey, Tim tells me that I'm just going to go for it. And guess what? I literally enrolled 80 partners personally in a year. Here was the trippy part. I looked at the leaders that sprouted from and guess how many leaders sprouted from 80 enrollments? If it's one of 40, how many sprouted from 80? Two. And I'm like, yeah, that actually worked. And while it was a facepalm moment, it was also empowering too, because now we know the stat and we know the game. And now you can actually look at your income targets and your business targets instead of I hope one day I'm serious enough and God's going to bless me. You can then look at it with an objective eye and say, I got my game plan. If I want to increase my income by another $10,000 a month in the comp plan we're playing with in this company, 2 leaders equals $10,000 a month. Is it worth it to know that you can increase your income an extra 10 grand a month, an extra 6 figures a year, to increase your income and your impact? If you just understand the game, you understand the number. Is it worth it to do the pipeline long enough to do that? And straight up, I believe it is. I don't know of any more beautiful business, because remember, in order to help enough, if you want to get what you want, in order to help, you got to help enough people get what they want. A friend said, it's hard to be poor, it's hard to be rich, choose your heart. 1,000%. I'd rather choose the hard to be rich, which is not that hard. So if you want to view this as a pro, are you willing to take on that game? Now, in the next conversations, I will also go over some hacks though. If you're the type that wants to go from point A to point Z as quickly as possible, I'm going to give you some hacks. But understand, how do you find your MLM leaders? It's a numbers game. And it takes one to know one. Are you willing to look at this business like a professional? Are you willing to do the pipeline in high quantity? If so, you're on your way. So Warrior, I hope it's encouraged you. If it did, like this, share this, subscribe for this plus the entire series. And if you're interested in more information on what the Warrior Movement's about, we give professional network marketing training and empower you to unleash the inner warrior within you so you can win in life and business. Fill out the form below called Work With Me. Would love to give you some more information. Congratulations on opening your business. Exciting times. Other than that, let's crush the day. Warriors out.